Pokemon HeartGold SoulSilver is known for its long journey across 2 regions, battling your way through 16 gym leaders, 4 Elite Four members, and one of the most infamous Pokemon trainer fights, the battle against Red. But what if I told you speedrunners need less than 2 hours to get past everything I just listed? How, you might ask? Well, the very weird category we're diving into is Pokemon HeartGold SoulSilver any percent, where all glitches and RNG manipulations are on the table, and moves like Flash somehow become useful. But why? Well, before we get there, every journey through Johto starts off in New Bark Town, but speedrunners start their journey really awkwardly. Back and forth from the mailbox, then in and out of the house they go. While this looks weird, it's actually just pure RNG manipulation. Speedrunners will follow an almost set path and start the game at the exact same date, time, second, and frame. And by accurately doing this, you can get the exact same occurrences in your game every single time. You can even relive your first ever playthrough of HeartGold SoulSilver if you manage to do everything the exact same way. This is all due to the RNG in Nintendo DS games being pseudo RNG, which is an RNG that follows a predictable pattern. And it's through this system that HeartGold SoulSilver speedrunners will take the game to the limit and beyond, because there are a limited number of RNG seeds that meet the standards required for an any percent speedrun. And it's quite a long list of requirements, starting with an amazing Cyndaquil, getting Pokerus, obtaining a trainer ID that wins the lottery, and a Riku with godlike stats. The odds of getting all these in a single playthrough is already astronomically low, and it's kind of a miracle that we can manipulate all this together into one speedrun. But to get to and be Red, we have to get Flash in Bellsprout Tower and fight through the 3 hardest Johto gym leaders in a super rough rival fight. Flash I will get to later, but for the fights, Faulkner sucks because of Roost spam, Bugsy's nasty because of Technician boosted quick attacking Scyther, and Whitney's ridiculous for obvious reasons. And while he's not exactly a gym leader, the rival fight right before entering Ilex Forest happens to have one of the most interesting strategies to beat him with. The battle against your rival starts with Ghastly, which is not normally a threat to us, but all 4 of its moves make the other Pokemon in his party a bigger threat than they really are. The second problem that comes after Ghastly is Croconaw. Croconaw loves to do 2 things: lower our speed or spam Water Gun. But having our speed lowered isn't a problem. With the combination of Leer and Quick Attack, we'll use 2 Leers to drop Croconaw's defense low enough so that we can KO it with 4 Quick Attacks, letting us outspeed Croc even with all these speed drops. But to safely pass the fights, we have to use Tackle for the 3rd hit. Since Croc will outspeed us if we go for Tackle, we can safely put it into KO range without worrying about getting hit with a Torrent boosted Water Gun. And now, with all those fights down, we can grab our final Johto badge, because we don't need all 8 of them. Certain gym badges are assigned to using certain HMs, which are key items that let you progress through the game. And with the 4 that we have after Morty, we can use Cut, Flash, Surf, and Strength, all of which help us progress the game in some way, shape, or form. Even Flash, but we're not quite there yet, because we need a strong enough Pokemon to take on everything from the Elite Four all the way to Red. And that chosen Pokemon is Raikou. I'm just kidding. Riku is an insane legendary Pokemon that gets released at the perfect time for us to use it in a speedrun. By going inside the radio tower with the RNG manipulated trainer ID speedrunners reset for at the beginning of the game, we can guarantee that we win the lottery for a free Master Ball every single time without fail, which means catching the dog won't be a problem, but getting a good nature on top of having it run away to a good spawn location is. This is a simple yet complicated process for speedrunners, as there are currently 2 methods they will use to do this. One is using random Pokemon spawns to accurately detect how close you are to the speedrunnable Raikou, and the second is through playing music on the radio. But that radio card method is for another video that you should consider subscribing for, as I do a ton of videos on Pokemon speedrunning content. Once we're through the rival fight inside of Burnt Tower, we'll then be presented with all 3 legendary cats. And between the 3 of them, Raikou is without a doubt the best for speedrunning. Suicune, unfortunately, would require a massive detour to multiple locations just to get it to battle us, while Entei is just terrible. Its learn set is quite a mess of mostly special attacking moves in Generation 4, with barely any physical attacks that Entei could use with its high attack stat, making Riku the final piece of the puzzle we need besides the bike. Now that we have Riku, it'll obliterate the final Johto gym leader without issue and proceed towards the Elite Four, where we're gonna get to Kanto with glitches. Using a trick called tweaking that I've covered in a few of my other Pokemon speedrunning videos, we'll go over these load lines that are in every Generation 4 Pokemon game in a fast enough pattern. This causes chunks of land to move or deload completely. The spots we'll abuse this glitch on in Johto are Slowpoke Well to skip talking to Kurt and deload a Team Rocket member, inside of Goldenrod City to access Whitney's gym without obtaining the radio card, the route above Goldenrod City to avoid 4 trainers in a cut bush, and finally, the tweak to get to the Elite Four with only 4 badges. Surf and Strength will get us through Victory Road just fine, but the tweak before it can be quite difficult. The first tweak to get to the Elite Four is done inside of New Bark Town next to the sign in front of the lab. This moves the grass from Route 29 onto Route 27, where we can tweak one more time to skip needing Waterfall or the rest of the Johto badges. And even with only 4 badges, the guard at the badge check could care less and just lets you go through. But now that we're through Victory Road, we're on to the biggest issues with any percent, and that issue is optimally hitting 11 thunders without an X accuracy. The odds of hitting 11 70% accurate hits is extremely low, and while we do have backup strategies, it's still worth hitting as many as possible. But this won't be an issue once we're through the Elite Four, because we only need to get through 2 more hard fights against Red and Blue, which are handled much differently than other speedruns. With the Elite Four defeated, we'll be welcomed into Kanto with open arms, where we'll begin tweaking as soon as we exit the boat. The cool thing about tweaking in Kanto is the amount of things you can actually skip. Grabbing the Pokeflute to wake up Snorlax? Don't need it. Fixing the entire power grid by finding the machine part for the power plant? That's someone else's problem. All we need is our trusty bicycle near these bikers to tweak past every Kanto trainer in the game, then head straight to Lavender Town, followed by Route 11 next to Vermilion City. Route 11 will be the spot for the second to last tweak we need to beat the game with, because we can use it to deload Snorlax completely. And this happens to be the only way we can get away with not needing the Pokeflute, which will give us a direct path to Blue, where we can once again tweak to get into his gym. And if we happen to beat him, it'll be all we need to do for a direct path to Red. Because Professor Oak doesn't actually care how many badges you have, he just cares about you obliterating his grandson in a battle, which is exactly what we're gonna do with RNG Manipulation. Let's talk about Flash, because at this point, Riku has access to Thunder, Shadow Ball, Reflect, and Flash. Quite a weird moveset for trying to go as fast as possible, but it's for a good reason, because once we've saved while we're underground below this old dude after tweaking, we can soft reset the game at a certain time frame based on a chart in order to do battle RNG manipulation. With this manipulation, every single turn will be predetermined by what happens after you use Flash. Sometimes Exeggutor will hit you into a certain HP with Leaf Storm. Other times, it'll completely miss. And based on the first or second turn, you'll always know which battle frame you landed on if you keep following the chart. The fastest fight is a total of 10 turns, while the slowest is 17. And without this battle RNG manipulation to guarantee a fast win, we'd have a massive problem on our hands with having to deal with Exeggutor's nasty move pool. This is due to the lack of resources we deal with during the run, since we can't afford more X accuracies than we already have, so hitting Thunder several times in a row is a problem, and using Flash to lower Blue's accuracy isn't as good without guaranteed misses. And once we're finished with Blue, Professor Oak calls to congratulate us on a job well done, getting all the Kanto badges, rewarding us with Rock Climb and access to Mount Silver. It'll be at this point that Riku will be the only Pokemon we have that can learn Rock Climb, which we'll teach to immediately to be able to climb up Mount Silver. And as soon as we reach Red, we'll save in front of him and soft reset in order to manipulate Red like we did with Blue. Because this fight would be almost impossible unless you use Shuckle like in my other HeartGold SoulSilver video. But that's reserved for mostly categories with no RNG manipulations, since we need to get Chuck's badge for Fly in that category, but not in this one. Instead, we'll do this. Battle versus Red starts like this. He sends out a level 88 Pikachu, while Worcester leads with a level 53 Raikou. Under normal circumstances, you would think that he would not be able to survive. But luckily for us, Worcester has access to a ton of X items. He's going to lead off with an X defend, X speed, start to flash, and he's going to miss a total of 5 times. After he sets up a bunch of X accuracies and a bunch of X specials, he's going to proceed to go for a Shadow Ball, which is going to immediately obliterate the Pikachu in one shot. And a critical hit, all thanks to a dire hit. He's going to use Flash one more time. He's going to miss the Giga Drain and immediately obliterate this Venusaur with a critical hit Thunder into a Sludge Bomb miss into a Shadow Ball kill. Once again, this Charizard is not going to stand a single chance, as he's going to have a ton of X specials backing up this Thunder and a guaranteed hit. Blastoise, no problem. Lapras, zero issues. And Snorlax just needs a little bit of chip damage from Rock Climb crit into a massive Blizzard miss into a massive Thunder critical hit. And that's how speedrunners can beat Pokemon HeartGold SoulSilver in under 2 hours. Subscribe for more speedrunning content and check out this playlist on the right for more content like this video.